What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Reality TV RHAP-ups. My name is Jordan Parhar, and I'm with you as usual to talk about Big Brother Canada on RHAPpy.com. Today, I'm joined by my two good pals. First, he's very tired because he just watched back-to-back American Ninja Warrior tapings in Philadelphia that were overnight. Give it up for Taryn Armstrong, ladies and gentlemen. Taryn, how are you?
I'm doing great. I met the great Jeff Britton, and he said he knew who Rob Sesternino was and loved him on Survivor, so I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, you were very happy on your Snapchat, which I was like, wow, because usually you're like pretty mellow, but you were like, man, he knew who Rob Sesternino was. I was like, wow.
And he shook my hand, and like I could tell that he could break me if he wanted.
That's amazing that he did that. I can't believe that he knows who Rob is. That's so impressive. Okay, so Taryn is here. He's back from Philly. He's here for a very special podcast. The other person who's here for a special podcast is none other than Alex Kidwell, ladies and gentlemen. Alex, how are you?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I've been missing some shows lately because I've had some internet issues, but hopefully that's all sorted out. I've got a new modem, new router, pretty much new computer, like new everything over here. So it's no reason why this shouldn't be working.
I've heard rumors that your Carly Rae Jepsen lip syncing is just like phenomenal now.
Oh man, it's a big inside joke. If Alex did not listen to the Joel podcast. Or was that the Joel podcast or The Price is Right?
Oh, yeah. No, it was definitely the Joel. Yeah.
Okay. So, Alex, I don't think Alex has listened to that podcast yet. If you haven't listened to that either,
still wasn't working.
And yeah, exactly. If you haven't listened to that podcast, if you're like Alex, check it out. Subscribe to the Reality TV RHAP-ups. Go to robbinswebsite.com/RHAPpy-hour, and you can listen to my interview with Joel Lefebvre from Big Brother Canada. Before we go, really, Taryn and I really went deep into Joel's game. We talked about every step of the way for him. We went through his game week by week, all the way to before he even started watching Big Brother. So that was a really, really fun podcast. Taryn, you enjoyed that, right?
Yeah, that was awesome. Joel is so great.
Yeah, Joel did a great job. So check that out. It was really fun. But that's not what we're here to do today. Today we are live on a Google Hangout to discuss your ideas to improve Big Brother Canada. That's right. This is the Big Brother Canada think tank. We're live on robbinswebsite.com. We've got the chat room going. It's going to be really fun. I'm really excited. We got a really great number of submissions. I was really impressed by the amount of ideas that you guys had. I was a little nervous that we wouldn't have anything, but you guys really came through, so I thank you guys greatly for that. So basically, if you guys do not know, if you're not familiar with the think tank format, basically how this works is we are taking your guys' ideas for twists, for just general twists, general game elements to improve Big Brother Canada, and also like casting twists and themes for seasons that you guys came up with. So if Arissa Cox or anybody from Big Brother Canada is listening, these ideas are free. You can take them, use them how you please. We're trying to help the show. Like a good house guest, Big Brother needs to be an adaptable show. It really does, in order to improve. It can't get stagnant. I think Big Brother Canada gets that. I think they've done that so far throughout the first 4 seasons, but they got to keep improving. They really do, if they want to remain successful. And I think that taking some of your guys' ideas that potentially could be used on the show, I think it could help. Will they ever listen? It's unlikely. They probably won't, but you never know. Maybe they will. It's happened with the Survivor think tanks that Rob's done before, and those twists have gotten onto Survivor. So I'm going to cross my fingers. Hopefully one of these things gets picked up, and I think that would be really cool. So, guys, before we get into it, is there anything you want to touch upon, or do you guys want to just hop right in and check out all these submissions?
I'm ready to hop.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Let's hop right into it. So here we go. So we took questions, or so we took suggestions from lots of different methods or platforms. I don't know what we want to say. Whatever. I'm tired. For the record, Taryn's gonna be tired for this episode because he literally just got off a flight from Philadelphia. I'm gonna be tired this episode because I just got back from helping Sarah Miller and her family move today. So I'm also very tired and might be a little bit off my game. So please forgive me if not. And I should also explain quickly. Brent Walgamot could not be here tonight because he had work. So apologies to Brent for not being able to work this out. But Taryn's going to am back home to Maine tomorrow. I have a busy weekend ahead, so this was really the only time this weekend that would work for us. So unfortunately, didn't work for Brent, but Brent will be back soon. I don't know which podcast that we'll be back for, but I'm sure we'll have something within the next week so that you get your Brent Walcomot fix. Okay, so, well, actually, Brent is also on vacation, so maybe like next weekend. But regardless, you'll get Brent soon enough. Let's just jump into it then with the first category of suggestions. This one, and we're going to start with YouTube. So we got some comments on a YouTube video that I put out there just promoting this think tank. This one comes from Anthony966, and his idea for a twist is called the Big Brother Rewind, guys. And see, I'm already off my game. I keep forgetting what we should do. So before we get into this, I just really want to jump the gun. I'm just so excited. So I need to mention what we're going to do is the three of us, because there's three of us today, we're going to vote on whether or not we like your twists or your ideas, or we're going to not go with it. So for Survivor, Rob and Steven would say, oh, you're going to Samoa if the twist is approved. I think for this one, if it gets approved, we'll say you're going to the Yukon. That work for you guys? The Great White North? No?
Sure.
Oh, sure. Going to the Yukon. And if it's not approved...
Is that a bad thing? Oh, it's a good thing?
It's a good... We'll just go with it. It's a territory in Canada, Taryn.
Territory? What's
that? A territory, that's another podcast for another day.
It's not quite a state.
It's not quite a state. It's not quite a province.
A province.
It's a territory.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the first. That's if you get approved. Okay. The second option is you don't get approved. We vote you down. So if you get voted down, you have to you're going to Topaz's baby shower. Okay. That's. So that's where
Send it to the baby shower.
Send it to the baby shower. It's going with Topaz and voting the wrong way and all that kind of stuff. So if you get approved, Yukon disapproved, Topaz's baby shower. Guys, am I forgetting anything else, or can we just jump right into it?
No, sounds good. I like laid out a solid rubric here.
Okay, let's jump into it. Okay, let's jump into it then. So I mentioned Anthony966. He's got the first one, the Big Brother Rewind. Okay, this is the name of his twist, and what this twist is that we take a cast of Big Brother Canada players from one season from the past, and on a new season we take all of them and we throw them back into the house again to see how the dynamics would change between these people after the years have gone by and drama has ensued amongst the cast members of a season. Alex, what do you think about the BB Rewind? Do you like this idea for a casting twist?
I think it's a cool idea. I just think it's A, too soon for Big Brother Canada, and B, just unrealistic. Like, I don't think it's something they would actually pull the string on. I think I would be interested in it, but I have a hard time seeing like a large portion of the audience enjoying it the way I would, I think.
Taryn, what do you think about this? Would you enjoy it, and do you think that Big Brother Canada could realistically ever pull this off?
I would love it. That would be awesome to see an entire cast play again. Just like for scientific purposes, really. Just to see what would happen. I know, like, the dynamics would be incredibly different. Between the drama that they have in their personal lives and the targets that, having done well in the previous season, would put on your back, and what kind of challenge that would present. I think it would be very interesting. I don't think the audience thinks it will be very interesting. I think it's going to be hard to market this to people saying, sure, like, those 2 or 3 people that you really loved in that season will be coming back, but then also all those other people that you don't really care about will be coming back.
What about like BBCan 2? I feel like if you did BBCan 2 again, people would go lose their minds because that was such a good season. Everybody loves that season. It's one of the better seasons in North American history, let alone in Canada. I mean, you have John, Netta, Paul Jackson, Ika, Sabrina. I mean, that's 5 people right there that are already going to create lots of drama. And that's not even including, I mean, you still have Kenny, Heather, Sarah Miller, Andrew Gordon. I mean, there's Kyle Shore, Adele. Like, every person from that season brought something to the table. So I feel like the fans would get behind it.
I don't know. I mean, I think that some of those people that you named, you might be a fan of, we might be a fan of. I don't know if the casual watcher really remembers Paul Jackson enough to be like, we really want to see Paul Jackson back on our screen.
Dude, they of course they remember Paul. Come
I'm sure they
on, man.
remember him in a very, like unique way, right? It's like, oh yeah, that crazy dude. I don't think they're like clamoring for him to come back, especially in a situation where it's just like he's probably just going to be out first again or something like that, unless somebody like John is out first.
And also, I think there's another context that would be, if you're going to bring back a Paul Jackson, I think there's another context that we're probably about to talk about here in a second that would be more ideal. So I think for me, for me, I gotta send it up north to the Yukon, but it's only for me. I don't think it's realistic.
Okay, so Alex is sending it to the Yukon. Taryn, are you?
I mean, is this personal, like where I want it to be, like Alex is saying, or is it like realistically where should I be sending this?
Well, I think if we're being realistic, I think every single one is going to be no. So you should it's what you if you like it, then yeah, send it to the Yukon. If you don't, to Topaz's baby shower it goes.
All right. Well, I'm a freak, and I'd love to see each cast play about 100 times. So I love it. Send it to the Yukon.
Send it to the Yukon. Okay, we're going to the Yukon. There we go. So Big Brother Rewind, our first twist, is going to the Yukon. I think it would be amazing. I really hope they do this someday. And Jorge Alvarado mentioned in the chat that Real World did this with their Las Vegas season. I think they had like 10 years later, they brought back the exact same people. I didn't know that, but that sounds like it's a really cool experiment. I would like to go back and watch that. Alex, you watched MTV stuff. Did you know that?
I did know that, yeah, but that's not really, a competition. It was interesting, but it was a real world season, not a season of the challenge, so it wasn't quite the same as what we're talking about. It was cool though.
Okay, so here we go. Got another twist. This one, also from Anthony966. He had two really good twist ideas, and they were both for the cast. I think I like this one better than the first one, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts. This one is not the most original idea, but it's something that we haven't seen on Big Brother Canada yet, and that is Big Brother Canada rivals. So we would get rivals of each other. We would all throw them in the house. I don't know if that necessarily means we would have rivals paired up together, playing together, or if we would just have two rivals in the house and we would let them play. But for example, we have listed Paul Jackson and Andrew Gordon, for example. Ika and Sabrina Abate, Jordan Parhar and Cindy with an S, Jared and Cass. I mean, that would, if you want drama out of a season, I mean, that is what you do. You put all these people in there. And with Big Brother, a lot of these people hate each other. They hate each other. And so I can't imagine what it would be like. I mean, they didn't get along in the house, but now that time has gone past, I feel like some people, the vitriol is even greater than it was while they were in there. So I think that would be a really, just a mind-blowing twist. Alex, you with me on that one? No! What?
Psych. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think it's a great idea. I'm really excited.
That was impressive.
Why'd you waste the buzzer on when you did agree with
Did you just have Rob's taboo buzzer this whole time and you kept that from us, or is that a sound effect?
Soundboard.
Oh,
courtesy of the RHAP app.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Downloadable anytime at your local app store.
That's
Anyways.
right. Rob has a website.com/app if you want to download that. Alex, go ahead.
No, I love this idea. We were talking about a little bit in the pre-show how cool it would be to just see, and I think that's the context where some of these players would be best served to be brought back because, people have talked about this idea where, they might play as teams or as pairs, and I'm less bullish on that than just kind of 8 pairs of people who don't get along brought back to play as 16 individuals. I think that would be the most exciting. And I think that does create a very, very good returnee season. I think that's one of the better ways you could go about casting a returnee other than just a straight-up all-stars for when Big Brother Canada does decide to go there.
Yeah, I think it would be really super, like, just fascinating to see how, whether these, because you see it on MTV's The Challenge when they do rivals. Sometimes the rivals just hate each other and it leads to their demise, and sometimes, it's a really cool story in seeing how two people who despised each other somehow come together and work as a team and sometimes even win. It's really, really cool. Taryn, what do you think about this?
I wasn't sure about it until you said Jordan Parhar and Cindy on the same season together, and then I was completely sold. That would be so fantastic for everybody but you. I'm sorry. Um,
Oh man, that would be that would not be fun. I don't think like if someone said to me, okay, you can go play Big Brother again, but it's Big Brother Canada Rivals, and you have to play with Cindy as your partner, I think I would say no. I don't think I could do it.
You'd have to bite the bullet for the sake of everybody. You'd have to.
I guess. Oh, that's the thing. I guess like I have to think about for the good of mankind.
Exactly.
So. I guess we would I would just nominate ourselves again. I think that's what would happen, and that would just like axe it, and then we'd lose, and it would be great.
Okay.
Gregory McBean in the chat says, "Would you have a showmance with her again?" Come on, man.
Yes.
I feel like we've touched upon this on the podcast before. Maybe
yeah, he
not.
obviously would want a showmance again. He's really hung up on her, guys. Come on.
No. Where's the Johnny Mac thing, Alex? Do you have that on there? Is Johnny Mac on the soundboard?
No, I got bro. I know.
Oh, okay, yeah, no. Okay. So there we go.
Here's my caveat though for this rivals thing. Don't do pairs. Pairs never work. It always sucks. And don't do the thing where you put half of them in first and then the other half, or whatever it is that they like to do. I don't want them to try to like manufacture sides. I want them to all go in at the same time so that it's not like we're one half of the rivals and here's the other half of the rivals. Kind of like Big Brother 4 or Big Brother 8, where those sides just kind of happen when they do it that way. So mix them all together. Don't form these sides. I like that better.
Yeah, I don't want to get stuck on the opposite side of Paul's team in that. I don't want that to screw up my alliance with him. So definitely. Okay, so we're all in agreement here. We're going to the Yukon, right?
Send it to the Yukon.
Yeah.
Sending it to the Yukon. There we go. Maybe Alex, if you want to hit the bell every time we do that.
Sure. Yeah, I can do that. Hang on.
Is there also Jeopardy
for this show?
Yeah, is there Jeopardy music in there too? That would be we'll play that in between while we're waiting for the bell. Okay, so there we go. So Anthony966 doing really well. He's getting two twists going to the Yukon. All right, here we go. This is the third one, and that one is also in an email. So yeah, so we're gonna skip this one. So sorry to that person. I'm not gonna say who that was, but I have that in email. It's longer, so we'll screw that one. Okay, here we go. This one is from Cameron McKeever. He says, a secret room hidden beneath a trapdoor or a false door that can be found in the house. Now, Alex pulled these from YouTube, so I don't know if that is verbatim what the comment was. So I don't really know.
I think I'm paraphrasing.
You paraphrased it, okay. So we'd have a secret room hidden beneath a trapdoor or a false door that can be found in the house, similar to Big Brother Canada 2. So, Taryn, what do we think about this? Do you like a trapdoor secret room thingy below the house? Is that going to work?
Well, it makes me think, like, what's the purpose? And this reminds me especially of Big Brother 6, where there's the secret room and they found it. And I mean, it was kind of exciting, but it didn't really lead anywhere. And you'd have to be like, yeah, like something has to be there that's relevant, like some sort of power, some sort of reward. I don't know.
Prize wall.
Yeah, but even then, it's like, it's there for the purpose of the reward. The reward is the twist. The secret room is just the method of finding that twist. So, I feel like it's an incomplete idea.
Alex, what would you like to see in the room if we were to go with this twist?
I mean, I think the general idea is cool. I love trapdoors and hidden bookcase things and secret dumbwaiters and all that nonsense as much as the next person. But I'm with Taryn. I think there really has to be it has to be fleshed out further. You know, there has to be a purpose for a room. You know, like we saw with Big Brother Canada 2. Like we've seen, you know, with at least with BB6, you know, they had some gold bars in there that were like usable as in-game currency. You know, like which you know I wish they had done more with that. I think the idea of in-game currency is certainly interesting, or you know, transferable items of any kind. I think is always interesting. So, yeah, I mean, I think this is like you know, part A of what could be something that you know could be a good idea. But yeah, I mean, just variations on the secret room is something that I think is always good if done, if compounded with other things.
Okay, Taryn, we going to the Yukon, or are we going to Topaz's baby shower?
I think we're gonna go give Topaz a visit.
Okay, so there's one. Okay, Alex, where are you on this one?
Yeah, I gotta get some stuff for the baby shower. I don't want it to be, you know, a sad party over there.
It's gonna be a sad party
So
no matter what, Alex.
It's not gonna be a sad party. It's Topaz's baby shower. But,
Yeah, but it's sad for Alex.
Excuse me, what?
Excuse me. Excuse me. Dan, you're in the audience there. Dan, you're at my baby shower. Can you like help me with this? Okay. So going to Topaz's baby shower then. I think we're all in agreement on this one. So an incomplete grade. We're gonna stamp this one with. We need a second part. So we will. You know what we should have done instead of Topaz's baby shower? Now that I'm thinking about it, or you know, instead of the Yukon, can we just change it on the fly? Can it be Zen Zoo?
Oh yeah, that's much better.
Okay, so Zen Zoo, which is great. Ginger Ninja's weed dispensary, or Topaz's baby shower. So change it on the fly. So those first two twists went to Zen Zoo. And this one from Cameron McKeever is going to Topaz's baby shower. Okay, next one. This one is from Michael Obregon. And this one is called the Rose Veto. Alex, you explained this really well to me in the pre-show, so if you don't mind, do you want to talk about the Rose Veto?
Yeah, it's an interesting concept, and I personally, I don't know if you might want to workshop the name, but you know, it's Michael's idea, so we're going to call it the Rose Veto, and I think he calls it that because of the notion that a rose looks really good but has a thorn, right? So this idea is that you can use it like a normal veto, or you can use it to remove both nominees to replace them with one nominee of your choice and yourself, which is an interesting idea. You know, and in general, I'm very, very bullish on, you know, variations on the veto, finding other ways to, like, introduce, like I said, items or something that can be, you know, used as leverage within the game to the game. So, you know, I think it's an interesting idea. I'm not entirely sure what I think about this one. What do you guys think?
Taryn, I'll throw this to you because
Can I throw it to you first?
Okay, throw it to me.
I don't know if I followed it all the way.
Okay, so how it works again, the Rose Veto, and the theme was every rose has its thorn. So hypothetically, I win the power of veto, okay? And let's say Willow and Ashley Wood are on the block. Okay, and I'm in a house with everyone for BB. We're doing BBCan 3 over again. So they're on the block, and I win the veto, and I say, okay, I want to go save both these people. So I can use the Rose Veto, and I can save Willow and Ashley, but in order to replace them, I get to pick one of the nominees that goes up, but the catch is the second nominee that goes up is myself. So I could, hypothetically, save them both. I could say, all right, I would like to put, I don't know, let's say I want to put Zach Olenek on the block. So I put Zach on the block, so Zach goes up. But if I put Zach up, that means I have to go up as well because I also picked the nominee. You follow me, Taryn?
I am.
Okay. So do you like this or no?
Well, is this a one-time thing or is it every veto?
I think it's a one-time thing that can be
thing.
found, and the caveat was that it can also be used as a normal veto. So it's an option. It's not a mandatory, which I think is interesting too, that you have the choice.
I don't think it works as a one-time thing. I feel like the cost of using it is way too high. It would have to be an option for every single ceremony, I think. Otherwise, we're not going to see it used.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would have to be every single week because it wouldn't get used. But But I think there would be somebody crazy enough to do it because there are people that get tunnel vision in the house, and I think that like that we could see that happen. I really do think somebody would just be like, "Yo, yeah, I'm taking both people off. I'm so safe. I'm gonna go put up." Or like, couldn't you see this season? Couldn't you see the Pax Bros winning it on BBCan 4 and Nick and Phil win and they take off? I don't know. Joel and Jared, and they both come off, and then they put themselves up, but they also put Tim next to them because they want to get rid of Tim. Like, I could see that happening.
I could, and the thing about these veto twists, at least this kind of veto twist, is that I do see these things happening, and they would make for crazy moments. They would make for crazy TV. We'd all be excited in the moment, but I am afraid that this sort of thing would really, really encourage big alliances, because if it's something that's usually an option, then all a big alliance needs to do is win the veto, and they can overturn a minor alliance's HOH by putting one person up from the minor alliance and then having the votes to send that person home. It's kind of like the battle in the block that way, where it really encourages people to stick together into big bomb squad groups. Couldn't even get that name out of my mouth. So that's a little scary, on that front. So maybe it shouldn't be every week. Maybe it should be like every once in a while thing. It gets introduced and could shake things up a little.
Or what about being introduced at like the jury phase of the game? Because then like the possibilities of alliances being huge at that point is smaller.
Yeah, I like that. If it's like halfway through, even if there is like one big alliance, I feel like they're not going to have such overwhelming numbers that they can really dominate something without like a colossal risk to themselves. And in that portion of the game, it is a lot more individual. So who's going to be the person that wants to volunteer to be that one on the block? So I think it works there. So I'm starting to feel good about it.
Okay, so Alex, are we going to Zenzu or are we going to Topaz's baby shower?
I like this. I'll send it to Zenzu.
Okay, so we're sending it to Zenzu from Alex. Taryn, are you sending it to Zenzu?
Yeah, with our stipulations, I'll send it to Zenzu.
Yeah. Okay, so we are sending it to Zenzu. So there you go, the Rose veto. Good job by you, Michael. I think that's an interesting idea. I think it would be kind of fun to see. Okay, so next one. Let's see here. There's a couple here. I don't know. We're not going to get to all of them. So let's jump to this one. This one's from Nerds RI on YouTube. And this twist that he has, or she has, I don't know who this is, but their idea is that if you survive, in order to deter pawns going up all the time on the block, if you survive 3 evictions while being nominated, you earn yourself a power of veto. So what do you guys think about that? So that way it kind of gets rid of the same pawn going up every single week. You don't see, Spencer Clausen going on the block 9 times. You don't see Brittany going up every single week. It kind of forces the HOH to change who you put up. Or, if they get, complacent and they say, no, I don't really care, then that person gets a veto and that gives them some power. So I think that could be kind of interesting. Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of similar to, I know they talked about the, and we don't want to get into, too many ideas from the genius here we talked about on the pre-show, but, last year's think tank, they talked about this pieces of veto idea that Mike Bloom had put out. And, it's kind of similar to this in that, like, each time you survive the block, you can get a piece of the veto, and after, say, 3 times surviving the block, you would have earned a full veto. I think this is kind of the same, only you don't divide it down. You just, kind of after 3 times, you would earn it. So I think it's definitely interesting. I think it's the kind of variation that doesn't change the game too drastically and does create an added kind of wrinkle for people to have to think about. So I think that's the kind of thing that is definitely usable.
All right. Taryn, what do you think?
well, I'm curious about like how does this veto work? So like after they're nominated 3 times, they get a veto.
Secret veto. So it's the
It's
Allison. I think we're assuming. Well, it's not secret, but it's like how Allison had the secret veto.
Probably
It's
like
a
good
veto.
for 2 weeks or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that you can use. It's an addition, or for example, like the one that Ian got in 14 when he played the arcade game or whatever. It's just an additional veto that can be used for 2 weeks, but everyone knows you have it.
So why would the HOH not just automatically put this person up again so that they have to burn their veto and they're not able to change their nominations?
That's a fair point. I mean, that could kind of kill it right there. But I mean, maybe it's a friend of the HOH. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm not super sold. I'm not sure a veto is the right reward because again, I feel like you're just it's either going to be burned immediately or it's going to be used if this person is a pawn anyway, it's going to just be used in service of somebody else.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. All right. Well, what do we want to do then, guys? Are we sending it to Zenzu or are we sending it to the baby shower? Alex, let's throw it to you.
I'll be the tiebreaker if it comes to it because I'm kind of torn on this one. I can see it going 2 different ways here, really.
Okay, well, I haven't voted yet first, so I will go with, you know what, it's something different. I mean, I'm more inclined to vote yes than no for most of these, so let's go Zenzu. I'll approve it for Zenzu. Taryn, you with me or are you against me?
I'm against you. And somebody said in the chat, like, if one of their friends does win HOH, they don't even need the veto. Like, they don't even, like, there's no point for them to use it because the friend.
Yeah, I guess that's
the friend controls the nominations anyway. So, I'm not sure I see the point. I think maybe something different would work, but this one goes to Topaz.
Okay, Alex, tiebreaker.
I really like the pieces of veto idea. I feel like this is kind of like a bit of a watered down version of that. I feel like if you gave me a choice of twists that I wouldn't, this wouldn't be preferable to me, but I would still rather see it as a variation to like something that could be way worse, like some of the twists that we have seen. So in that sense, I'm gonna send it to Zenzu.
No, you're gonna send it to Zenzu, because guess what? I changed my mind and I'm not sending it to Zenzu. It's going to the baby shower. So see you later, Twist. Because the more I thought about it, I was like, yeah, you know what? This makes no sense. But what I will say is, so it does go to the baby shower. But if it was something different, if it was the pieces of veto, yes. If it was an advantage in the next HOH, yes. Or like something, or maybe if it was a secret, then I like it. But the more I thought about it, the less I liked it. So yeah, it's good thinking, but just maybe not with this specific idea, if that makes sense. Alex, are you okay?
Just looking for.
Stop being such a cheapo depot.
I didn't know that was on the soundboard. Wow,
yeah, I need to get off this. I'm having too much fun with this.
Too much fun.
Yeah, I think everybody should agree that we should all appreciate Rob more having listened to Alex operating a soundboard.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, we should. I should just get a mixer, so I'm like Rob, and then I can, do all this stuff. But I don't think it would really fit in my closet, so it wouldn't really flow. But maybe down the line we can get sound effects on the RHAPpy Hour that work effectively. Okay, final YouTube suggestion. This one is from Adam Selkov. He says, now this one would just be complete and utter chaos, so I think it would have to be 1 week maybe, but it would still be very fun. His suggestion is the HOH gets to choose one nominee, and that nominee has to choose the other person that sits beside them on the block. Now, this could lead to a lot of different. There'd be so many different variables, a lot of different permutations with this twist, because you could have 2 people who hate each other, put it. You could say, person A puts up person B who they hate, or person A could be in a deal, or person A could be having a deal with the HOH to put someone up. Like that could lead to a lot of different things. So starting to like it. I don't know. We'll see as we talk through this because I haven't really fully I haven't thought everything through yet, as you saw with on the last twist. Taryn, what do you think about this twist?
I don't really like it. I'm not usually a fan of twists that mess with the HOH power because I really feel like the HOH is something that Big Brother just like really got right, where there's a lot of variance that goes into who wins, and then they have a lot of power, but it also leaves them very vulnerable, and that's a very delicate balance. And not allowing them to control both nominations really takes away almost all of their power. And then if they're also not allowed to compete the next week, it's almost like a complete wash. They might as well not be HOH. They basically can put one person up, and then that person can determine who's going to be able to go home next to me. And, you know, barring anything going wrong, which is always a possibility in Big Brother, obviously, it just seems like, what's the point?
What's the point? Yeah, that's the twist is called the what's the point of being HOH? Alex, what do you think? We'd see everybody throw competitions then, right? If that happened, right, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm certainly I won't claim to be the brightest guy, and I definitely don't always see the forest through the trees, but I can definitely already see how this could be gamed in a similar way to Battle of the Block. Like, this is one of the things that I think is pretty easy to see how people could like rally around, and like Terrence says, like, you know, it's really HOH power is so important when you don't have the numbers in the house. I mean, to take that away from somebody who really would need it in a given week, I think is, you know, kind of undoing a bit of, like Terrence said, what the game gets right. And so, no, I'm not wild about that.
Okay, so Alex is not wowed. So Alex, I assume you're sending it to the baby shower.
Baby shower for me.
Baby shower for you. Taryn, are you in agreement there?
Shower them babies.
Shower them babies. All right, there we go. So, unfortunately for Adam, his twist is going to Topaz's baby shower, and he will not be going to the Zen Zoo. I think that this. Can you imagine? That would be so fun if all these fun twists are going to go hang out with Ginger Ninja and stuff. Like, that's all. I mean, Topaz is great, but I mean, come on, man, Zen Zoo, like, that's amazing. Although Alex and I were talking in the pre-show, and this. Not to get too political here, but apparently all the marijuana dispensaries in Toronto recently got raided by the police. So Zen Zoo might not be a thing by the time this podcast hits iTunes. So yeah,
that'll make it quite bittersweet.
Yeah, maybe we'd have to flip them around. Maybe then the baby shower is good and the Zen Zoo is not. But that's
what a
okay.
Twist that would be.
What a twist indeed that would be. But we'll just make sure that not everyone's confused.
The Zen Zoo storage locker.
Zen Zoo storage locker. There you go. You go there instead. But people are already confused, so we won't do that. Okay, here we go. Let's jump to Reddit. This one comes from Giraffe Aquarium, and Giraffe Aquarium doesn't really have a twist. This one is more for production, and I can tell right now that everyone's probably going to agree with this one, but I'm just going to read it anyway. So this is what Giraffe Aquarium says. Giraffe Aquarium says, redesign the feed's viewing experience. It would be nice to be able to flash back more than a couple of days, for example, and navigating through time is super sucky. They also seem to be unable to switch the audio and video at the same time. Typically, the audio switches a few seconds before the video. Let's orient the feeds by location so you can see what is going on at any place in the house at any time. Maybe even a Marauder's map for you Harry Potter fans so that we can see the location of all house guests. Could even have the option to click on certain house guests and follow them around. Basically, just make the whole thing more stalker friendly. All right, so what do you guys think about that? Alex, Taryn, did you guys read or watch the Harry Potter movies?
Yes, of course.
I read the books, and I watched most of the movies.
So you're familiar with the Marauder's map?
Yes.
And I don't even know if I'm saying that right, so I'm just gonna go with it.
You're not.
Yeah, you're not.
How do you say it right?
Marauder.
Marauder's map. Thank you. I figured people would shred me in the comments because I'm saying it wrong. This is what happens when you read Harry Potter when you're in grade 2 and everything you thought how it was read in grade 2 is just stuck in your mind, and that's how you say it. So Marauder's map. Okay, so do we like the Marauder's map thing for the feeds? Because didn't they have, like, on BB16, didn't they have, like, the Fitbits that they wore for a week?
Yeah, yeah, but they didn't do anything but say
They
like,
didn't do anything with it, but why
that.
not? Why not do that with this? Get the Fitbit on every single person, and then get the Marauders map on the feeds, and then we can see everyone. That would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? Have like a special like. There's so many cameras, and couldn't we have like one dedicated feed to each house? Guess that would be kind of interesting, right?
yeah, I think obviously this is like a dream scenario for feed watchers. It would make things so much easier. I obviously love this idea. That said, I think it's realistically probably not anywhere close to an option. I think the costs involved are much higher than the production people are going to want to spend. Having people run the feeds 24/7 is very costly in itself. The problems with the audio are because these are manned by people and they are operating switchboards or whatever it is they're using, and they're not always on the ball because their work they shift out 24/7 basically, and they also have a show to produce, and so they don't have like the money I imagine to hire a bunch of people dedicated for feeds, to hire a bunch of coders to work on how to make it more user friendly and all that stuff, especially for Big Brother Canada when they release these feeds for free. They're not really making any money off of it.
But what if they charge money for feeds? Wouldn't that be like? Cause how much money, Taryn, realistically, and Alex, you can jump in too. Like, how much realistically would you pay for feeds that are with the Marauders map? Like, cause I feel like I feel like most feed watchers would pay top dollar for something like that because that would be amazing.
I think that's true. The thing is, are there enough feed watchers that would pay that much? Like, even if it was like $100, is there enough people are there enough people who are interested in this experience to offset that cost? I'm guessing no, because they haven't even looked into it yet.
Alex, let's get your take on here. Jump in. What do you have to say about the Marauders map?
Yeah, like we've got a lot of interesting submissions, and I think for the most part they fall in one of two categories. And they're either like ideas for variants or twists, or they're things like this, which just kind of like would be awesome, just kind of like belong on the top of Mount Should Be. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean we're getting it. That doesn't mean we could ever hope to expect. Like, this belongs right there next to a finale where, that's, longer and where questions are. And yeah, you know what I mean? Like, this is one of those things that's not so much a variation on the format or a twist as it is just like an awesome thing that would accentuate the experience that we have already. Like you said, Jordan, I don't think anyone would be opposed to this. I just don't think it's a realistic proposal.
All right, so we're in agreement then. I'll go into the baby shower then.
No, in my heart it goes to Zenzu.
Yep.
Your heart it goes to Zenzu, but your head it's going to the baby shower. I thought it was really cool, but okay, so there we go. We're moving on from the Marauders map. Okay, let's take one from OK Seriously Bro. So OK Seriously Bro says, I've got a concept that myself and others have bandied about a bit, been dying to see BBUS give it a try, but if BBCan wants to consider it, let them. I lamely nickname it Lock the Back Door, as it effectively gets rid of backdoors for an entire season. Here's how it works. The HOH wins and puts up 3 nominees as opposed to 2. There is no veto draw. Vetoes are designed like an HOH competition where everyone in the house plays as opposed to just 6 house guests. This is because at the power of veto ceremony, you're forced to use the veto to remove one of the 3 nominees from the block. 2 nominees are left on the block. The house votes one of them out. Another week starts. You do this all the way down to Final 4, then run to Final 3 as you normally do. You can have double evictions that follow the same pattern. And if you want to get a big target out of the house, you better prepare to face that target's wrath for an entire week instead of quickly backdooring them at the power of veto ceremony. It would also lead to a lot more scrambling among the nominees, each making their various if you win POV, save me arguments. Okay, so what do you guys think about this? So 3 nominees, everybody plays in the POV, and somebody wins and somebody's always coming off the block, and you leave 2 people up there. Alex, there was a similar type of idea talked about this on last year's Big Brother think tank, right?
Yeah, and I think they brought up some interesting points. I think And Rob, I definitely mentioned, and I think, this is the point that Brent would definitely bring up if he was here, would be, Big Brother being a show first, being entertainment focused. The backdoor really provides a lot of great drama and great moments, and it's hard to see a scenario where you remove the backdoor and get a better result in terms of viewer satisfaction.
Yeah,
At least
that's
for me.
true. Yeah, but the back doors are really fun. I mean, who doesn't like a good back door, right? Everybody loves the back door. Back door is just such a great option to use. Taryn, what do you think about this idea?
Yeah, I've seen this idea a lot, and I do like it, and it's well thought out, and I think it's something that is unlike a lot of ideas that people have. I think it meshes with the game well. It doesn't upset any balance. Um, the only downside, like Alex mentioned, is that it's not necessarily made for TV. But I mean, it's made for me. So. Like honestly, I could see it as a kind of thing that every once in a while, like every once in a while there's a double eviction. Every once in a while there's a lock the back door eviction, and instead of putting up two people and having a veto, you put up three people and have a veto. And it just can add to the variance of the game in that way, and I could see that working with TV as well, because it might screw up somebody's plans.
I would like to see this for like the first, like in the pre-jury, because that would be really fun, because then you couldn't have guys like Devin get backdoored, and then you have like those guys go crazy. Or like, for example, like I talk about him all the time, my favorite person, the Ginger Ninja, like on Big Brother Canada 3, like if he got nominated at the start of the week, he would have lost his mind. He would have went crazy, and then he would have went nuts in the veto. He would have probably won it, and that would have led to so much drama. So I think maybe for like the first half of the game, or first like couple weeks, maybe first 5 weeks, you use this method, and then after the lock the back door is gone, and then you can start backdooring people again. I don't know. It kind of makes it entertaining, or like Taryn said, I think like a once in a while thing. It would be interesting. Let's go around the horn. Alex, Zenzu or the baby shower?
Baby shower.
All right, Taryn.
Zenzu for me, it's a twist that will work, and I think if it's split up, if it's spaced out well enough, then it can also work for TV. So Zenzu.
Okay, if it's every week, baby shower. But if it's just once in a while or earlier in the game, you're going to Zenzu. There we go. So I like this. I think it would be fun. It's different, and I like different things. So why not try this out? Maybe for a week at first to start it. I don't know. I think it would be kind of cool. So there we go. We're moving on. Let's go to the next one. This one comes from I'm not doing that one. Okay, here we go. This one comes from the Amazing Racer 21, and like I think it was our friend Anthony earlier. Yeah, Anthony 966. Amazing Racer 21 has the Amazing Racer 21 on Reddit has 2 ideas. This is the first twist. This one is called Winner's Circle. So each week, the house guests who come in second to fourth in the HOH competition will form the Winner's Circle. They win immunity for the week as well, but they must unanimously choose a third nominee. Should they not be able to, one of the circle is randomly nominated, and the other 2 lose their immunity and can be nominated post-power of veto. With the Winner's Circle in play, the outgoing HOH will compete but cannot become HOH the following week. Should they finish first, then second place gets HOH, and the outgoing HOH takes the second spot in the Winner's Circle. The Winner's Circle is decreased to 2 house guests at Final 9 and goes out of play at Final 7. Okay, so what do you guys think about this? Kind of an interesting, idea, something that we've never really, that I had never really seen before. So, Alex, what do you think about this?
I'm not sure. It's very intricate.
Very
It's
intricate, yes.
different.
I mean, to me, it would just I would like to see scenarios like in Big Brother All Stars Week 1, where Jace and Janelle are HOH. They have to agree on the nominations, and Danielle Reyes is pressuring them not to agree so that they both go on the block. I think that's kind of interesting. It could lead to some, because I think if we have someone like Dallas in the house this season who would just like hold his ground no matter what in any situation, I think it could lead to kind of some. And there are people who are very strong-minded every season of Big Brother. I think it would lead to kind of some. I don't know, Russian roulette type of deal, and it would add a third nominee. It's a little gimmicky, though.
Yeah, it's a bit elaborate, too, for the average viewer to follow, I think, is part of the problem with it.
Yeah, okay, so I really like this. I like how well thought out. Like, as you were reading it at first, I was like, I'm not sure this will work. But then, as they fill out the details, it's clear that this is well thought out, and I think it works. I think it's balanced. I think that I think it could be exciting. I think the biggest fault with it is that it's so intricate. I think that the average viewer will have a hard time understanding how it works exactly. It would have to be the kind of thing that they spend a lot of time introducing and talking about over and over again. I think it could work because they did the Battle of the Block, and that's kind of in some ways intricate as well, and it required some explanation. And they could just leave some of these details off the board. They don't need to explain it to the casual audience. So in that sense, I really like it. I wouldn't want to see it for more than one season because I think it's a different game than Big Brother. But I would be curious to see how it played out.
Okay, and just people in the chat are saying that they're a little confused, so let me explain this again. So how it works is there's an HOH competition beginning of the week. The winner of the HOH competition is HOH. The person who finishes in second, third, and fourth, they form the winner's circle. That group of 3 then has to unanimously agree on one person to go on the block as a third nominee. I'm assuming this would be on the nomination episode. But if they cannot agree, those 3, and they have immunity for the week, but if they cannot agree, those 3, one of those 3, they do a Russian roulette, I guess, and one of them...
They're drawing rocks.
They're drawing rocks, exactly. One of them goes up, the other 2 lose their immunity, and that's basically how it works. So it's like, yeah, I don't know, it's something... It's cool, but yeah, like you guys are saying, a little complicated for the average viewer. It might be more fitting for... I don't know, the Genius or something like that. But let's keep moving. Keep moving forward. Alex, what do you think? Are you going to say yay? Or are you going to say nay on this one?
I'm going to put it in a third category, which is save it for the inevitable web series that we create down the road.
Okay, I like that.
That's more cerebral and intricate.
Okay, I like that. All right, so there we go. So we're gonna save it for our web series that Alex breaking news. Maybe one day we'll do a web series. And Alex says he's popped the cork off of that little secret that we had. But now if it doesn't happen, Alex, we're gonna get in big trouble. So, so there we go.
Also, now that it's our idea, we're gonna edit out the part that said who suggested it, right?
Yeah. We're gonna edit out the part that Amazing Racer 21.
Right,
yeah,
we'll edit that part out and this part out.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And I'll edit
Nobody
the video.
will know.
Nobody will know. It'll be great. Yeah. Okay, so Alex is saying save it for the web series. Taryn, where do you say it?
I like it. I would enjoy seeing it on a season of Big Brother. Like I said, just not more than one. I think it's a pretty drastically different game. So I'd like to see it, but just once. So Zenzu.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Alex this one. I think save it for the web series. I think it's too complicated for Big Brother, but I really like it a lot. So let's save it for the web series. I think that'll be fun, and we'll tease that. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Who knows if it'll ever happen? But if it does happen, I think that would be a really fun twist. And for you guys listening to this podcast, if that web series ever becomes a thing, you will be like, oh, I remember that. So there you go. Okay, next one. This is a second twist from The Amazing Racer 21, and this twist is called Revolt. Each eviction, the head of household must also face the eviction vote, but is only evicted if the voters unanimously vote to revolt against him or her. If even one house guest votes for an HOH's nominee, the HOH stays, and the nominee most voted for is evicted as normal. Now, this one I love. I think this is so fun and is so cool, and we could see somebody go home in like week 2 by a vote of like 2-1 or something like that, because everybody is trying to, or everybody can make an agreement. Yes, we're voting out the HOH, and then they say, "Psych, just kidding. I'm actually voting out this one nominee." It would really open up a huge can of worms. Taryn, what do you think about this one?
I think give The Amazing Racer 21 MVP so far, because I'm really loving these ideas.
Very
It
well
was,
thought
again,
out.
as they explained the first part, I was thinking, no, I'm not sure this is going to work, because the only situation where this is going to happen is where the HOH is so polarizing that everyone wants them out, and it'll be kind of lame to see everybody vote the HOH out. We want to see that polarizing HOH compete in the next, like, still be in the House, right? Like, we don't want to see them leave. That wouldn't be exciting. But the caveat that if even one person votes, then that can screw the whole thing up. And so even if everybody wants the HOH out, one person can be like, you know what? This is anonymous. I have one vote. I could send either of these other people home right now. I love it. That putting that power into any one person's hands, there's no way that they're going to turn it down.
No.
So I really like this idea. I think it could lead to some great situations. It's unlike the other one. It's even simpler to understand. I think that everyone would get it from the casual audience point of view. Yeah, I'm already saying Zenzu.
Yeah, this is going to Zenzu, right, Alex?
Absolutely, yeah. No, I think this is a really great twist. And yeah, like Terrence said, the caveat at the end is really what makes it great. The fact that it incorporates the prisoner's dilemma, where people have to decide between the collective good versus the individual good. Like, anything that incorporates that element is always interesting to me, and I think this does that in a way that's both entertaining and easy to follow. So I think it's very, very well thought out.
Yeah, I love it. Amazing Racer 21, great job. These are both great ideas, but the revolt thing, man, eviction night, I mean, because think about it, when you're watching an eviction and it's a unanimous vote, you're always like, oh, like, okay, like, I can just fast forward this, like, whatever, like, if you're watching it recorded on your PVR or whatever. But if it is like that everyone's going for the HOH, you really do have to pay attention to every single vote, because if one person goes the other way, all goes out the window. Everyone's shocked. It's crazy. People could lie about it. There's so many possibilities.
And
so
you
I
just
love it.
You just know that the next like fledgling Dan Giesling is gonna go, you know what? I'm gonna rally the troops for everyone to vote for the HOH, and then I'm gonna be the person that doesn't do it. So nobody suspects me, and I get to choose who goes home. And like, just like the thought
amazing.
of people trying to do those things, failing, succeeding, so many great possibilities.
And it actually
it's
becomes
amazing.
probably more interesting later in the game, because there's less like variables to corral to try to make the thing happen. So
That is true. So I mean, and that also like that. I mean, maybe we'd have to change it for later in the game, because
We might have to stop it after a certain point.
After-
Yeah, because we don't want to because we want to give the HOH immunity, I think, to some extent. But like for the early game, I mean, oh my gosh, that would be so much fun. Okay, let's move on. Great job by the Amazing Racer 21. Okay, so here we go. We're done with Reddit. Let's jump over to Facebook. This one comes from Micah Leminin. Sorry if I
think
butchered
it's Mika.
Mika Leminin. Okay, Mika Leminin gives us the bounty hunter twist. Everyone starts the game with a randomized list of players matched with weeks, and they can earn money each time a player goes in the week they have them in. Okay, so you can earn money if you send home a certain player in a certain week. So that's what the bounty hunter twist is. Personally, I think this would get too hard to keep track of, and I also don't know if people are really going to go out of their way to go after someone if they were put on a randomized list at the very beginning of the game. Taryn, what do you think?
Yeah, yeah, I think the keeping track of it is probably the worst part. If everybody has, there's so many different variables. You have one person every week for each person. That's so many different things, so many different options. Everybody's going to have, like, it's going to be hard to tell the story of this person wants this person because of this reason, but also personal reasons, and this person has this person in mind for whatever reasons. And then also, I don't think money is a good enough reward, incentive to do this. I don't think, like, most people are looking to win the game. They're looking to either win the game for that money or for the title, and there are very few people that I think are going to actively go out of their way to risk their game just to get some money, unless it's a significant amount. So I'm not really seeing it.
Alex, where do you stand on this one?
I mean, yeah, no, for the most part, I'm really with Taryn, but I do want to say that I really like the idea of, like, everyone having kind of almost like a predetermined hit list like that. I think there is something there that can maybe be workshopped because, like, to me, like, obviously the fact that, you know, like, there will be a lot of random occurrences where, like, you know, someone just happens to go in week 3 and you'll be like, oh, look, I have that on my card, like, I win some money. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
that's why it kind of
Bingo.
falls short. But yeah, I mean, right, it is a bit like a bingo card, you know, but, like, at the same time, like, I do like the concept of bounties. I do like the idea of kind of, like, incentivizing people to target, to play, to go after to go for the jugular. So, you know, there's something to be workshopped there. I just don't think this is it.
Yeah, and another thing that I was thinking of is that if they have a person every week, then there's really even less incentive to follow through because you can just be like, you know what, this doesn't really match up with my needs right now. I'll just wait until next week and see if that works better for me. And so people are really only going to go with it if it already works with what they're doing. So I think I do, again, like Alex said, I do think that the idea of a hit list is good. I don't think this is the way to
go about it. Okay, so going to the baby shower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so there we go. So going to the baby shower. Here we go. Next one. Okay, this one is from my good buddy Edward Morris. Edmo, he says his twist is called Double Down. The outgoing HOH has the option to participate in the next head of household competition. If they win, they remain HOH and gain safety for the week. If they lose the right to compete the next week, and they become a have-not. Now, I would like to tweak this slightly, and instead, if they lose, they can't compete the next week, and let's see, maybe get nominated to go on the block, because I feel like otherwise everyone's going to always double down, right?
Yeah, that was my immediate issue, is that if you lose the right to compete, that's the same thing as choosing not to compete. So you're not really losing anything.
Exactly.
And my issue with them going up on the block is that, again, that kind of messes with the game. If they have to go on the block, then that hinders the person who won HOH. Now they have this person on the block that they didn't choose, and it would kind of mess with the dynamics. So. I'm not really seeing. I mean, I get the idea. I like the idea. I haven't seen a way that it'll work quite yet, though.
What if they, like, lose the right to compete in, like, HOH, veto, HOH, like the next 3 comps?
Yeah, that might be a little better.
Something like that, yeah, where, like, they'll pretty much only take that option if they feel desperate, and then and that works for TV too, because if somebody's desperate, we kind of want to see them be able to compete for themselves and win. But then again, if they lose, then it's like, okay, well, you're done now. Like, you don't have any hope.
Well, exactly. Like, if they lose, let's say, like, someone doubles down, and then, okay, they can't compete in the next POV, the next HOH, and the next POV. Then, I mean, they're no threat for 2 weeks because they can't do it. It's like the same thing when Jamaica took that punishment in Big Brother 8 where she couldn't compete for 5 HOHs. It was like she was, like, so devastated, but it was the greatest thing ever that could happen for her game because everyone
said,
was
super exciting, right?
Exactly, right? So it's just like, I don't know. I love Edmo, but I don't know if the double, like, again, this thing could be tweaked a little bit. I like it because then someone like Frank in 14, your good buddy Taryn, I think it would be really entertaining to see Frank, like, risk everything and then go for the double down and win. Like, that would be great TV. I feel that.
Yeah, definitely. Again, I like the idea of like, if you're in a desperate situation, you're able to take a mad gamble, and if it pays off, then awesome. That's going to make great TV. There just has to be a way that if it doesn't pay off, it's both an equal punishment, a fair punishment, but also good TV. So we'd have to come up with something. I can't think of anything right now.
Yeah, I think what's ultimately good about it is that it creates an added option. It's just the game is always more interesting when kind of strategic options are introduced, and this is something that is kind of like a desperation move that could be available. And I don't know if maybe you want to say it's something you can only do once in the game, but then again, if you make the risk, that I mean, to have to win. And I guess you'd have to figure it out in a way, because like using it late in the game is obviously a lot easier when you're only competing against a few people. So it would it'd have to be something that's kind of goes away at a point, I think. But I think there's definitely something there.
Okay, Alex, where are you going?
Tentatively to Zenzu.
Taryn.
I need more details before I send it to Zenzu. So sorry, Edmo.
Okay, well, I have just been putting everyone to Zenzu, and I love Edmo, so Zenzu it is. It's going to Zenzu. So there we go. Everyone's going to Zenzu. Got to tweak it a bit. Got to do some research, figure it out. Kind of got to change this up a little bit, but I like it's like Alex said, the option to kind of change things up and add a different variable to the game. I think it makes it a little more interesting, and then I think it also makes those comp threats that much more scary, because if they win HOH, they can win it 2 times in a row. So I kind of like that. Okay, let's jump over to Twitter quickly. We only got really this one I really like from Twitter that I wanted to talk about, and this one will be very fast. This one is from the great Michael J. Clark, Michael from effing Boston, and he says, and I think this one will be very quick, but maybe I'm wrong, we'll see. So Michael says, okay guys, how about this? Coach's twist, a la Big Brother 14, but they stay coaches, okay? And the coaches are Godfrey, Netta, Emmett, and Cass. I mean, that's got to be approved, right?
I think everyone knows what I'm going to say.
I don't know what you're going to say. What are you going to say? I
mean, if you're going to pick someone from Big Brother Canada 4, it's got to be Mitch.
Oh, of course. but we also got to keep the female-male balance. I think that's a good 4 if you're going to go with 4 people.
No, yeah, I'm kidding.
But I don't know. So I can't tell, man. You love Mitch more than I don't know what you love more than Mitch, man. Can we have a podcast on that one time? Things that Taryn loves more than Mitch. I think it would be very short.
Nothing can be loved more than Mitch, Jordan.
Oh, okay.
Everybody loves Mitch more than anything else in the world. They just don't realize it yet.
They just don't realize it yet? Okay. Well, thank you for enlightening me.
Yeah. I like the coach's twist. To some extent, it's one of those things where it kind of throws the whole season off balance. I really didn't like the coach's twist in season 14. I don't like the way that they implemented it with them entering the game. Obviously, they shouldn't do that. But it's one of those things where it will be kind of a gimmick season. It's not going to really show us any real data about who these players are under normal circumstances. So it would be disappointing if there was like a really good player that just wasn't able to shine because there were coaches in the game. That said, if they go with a gimmick cast that's like a very entertaining cast, they don't really expect people to be like great players, this could lead to a very entertaining season where Godfrey, Netta, Emmett, and Cass are kind of like the puppet masters. We get to watch them, and then we also have an entertaining cast to boot. So I think this is actually one that Big Brother Canada might enjoy because that's kind of their thing.
Alex, what do you think about this one?
I don't really like the coach's twist, to be honest with you. Like, I just feel like like Terrence said, I mean, it really does. It's a totally different game. Like, I mean, the coach's twist, even before the coaches became players, like, it was, them just playing with their players as pawns. Like, it was, the game in Big Brother 14 was Brittany versus Dan versus Janelle versus Boogie. I mean, none of those players mattered until the coaches became players, at which point everyone was a player. But, like, before that, like, they didn't really have any say in their own games. And, like, that's my issue with the coaches twist in general. Like, I would much rather see Netta, Godfrey, Emmett, Cass, Mitch all come back and play their own game a second time against each other than I would ever like to see them, like, I mean, it's like you're half-assing it from both ways. It's like these players don't get to play their own game, and we don't get to see these all-stars truly play the game. So to me, it's like either, go all in or just or go newbies. But I'm not wild about coaches.
Here's why I like it: is if you keep them coaches the entire time, you can still use them on an all-star season, and it's not like because we didn't technically get to see them play, so it's not like with how Survivor just used Russell Hantz over and over again and it kind of got stale. With this, you could use them in a unique way, and then you could still bring them back in a couple of seasons. So I'm a fan of it. I'm sending it to Zenzu. What say you, Taron Armstrong?
I would. This is actually an instance where the difference between the Big Brother US think tank and the Big Brother Canada think tank come into play, because for Big Brother US, I would not want this. I think that Big Brother US is capable, is very capable of giving us actual, real good Big Brother. Big Brother Canada, they like to do the gimmicky stuff, and so if they're gonna do gimmicky stuff, I think this is a good way to do gimmicky stuff. So I like it. I'm gonna send it to Zenzu.
All right. Well, Alex, I'm sorry, but your vote doesn't matter at this point. But where were you going? You were saying no?
Yeah.
Alex was saying no, but
Shower
unfortunately,
the people.
blindsided once again. Okay, here we go. We're going to keep moving forward. We got some of your emails. You guys emailed me, parharjordan@gmail.com. Feel free to email me anytime if you'd like. But here we go. This one is from Caleb Hunton. Caleb says, "Hey, hope I'm not too late for the think tank. Here's an idea I have. Put a Canadian who was famous in the 80s or 90s in the house and only have a couple of people recognize that person, similar to Survivor Philippines when Scoopin recognized Lisa Welchel. I hope you like my idea. Tell Brent that I think he's fabulously amazing and Taron isn't. Thanks, Caleb from Atlanta." To be honest, Caleb, this wasn't the greatest idea. I just wanted to read that part where you said tell Brent he's fabulous and Taron isn't. So there you go. Okay, quickly, thumbs up, thumbs down. Do we like that? Do we not? I mean, I think I'm just kind of meh on that.
Who's a Canadian that was famous in the 80s and 90s, Jordan?
That's the thing is I'm too young.
Ryan Boitano?
I don't even know who that is.
Oh, God.
I think it's very clear why this
figure
person
skating.
finds Brent fabulous, because he has a terrible sense of what's fabulous and what's not. I am so fabulous, it's ridiculous.
Oh,
And
yes.
This idea is so not fabulous.
Here's a celebrity. He's probably too big though, but I would say Michael J. Fox. Like that would be cool. Like Michael J. Fox in the house, like that would be fun. Could you imagine? Marty McFly in the Big Brother Canada house? No? All right. Well, okay. So we're saying no to this one. We're saying no to this one.
That's a hard pass.
You don't like Michael J. Fox? No? You guys don't like Michael J. Fox? Am I crazy?
I don't know that
feel
Michael
like
J. Fox is like in a position
Yeah.
to enter the Big Brother house at this stage.
He could do it. He could do it. He's Michael J. Fox. He'll figure it out. I mean, he's got some stuff going on, but
We get him a DeLorean and then.
yeah, get back in time and then do it that way. I mean, why not? All right, I think we broke Taron. Taron's just jumped off the podcast.
Yeah, let's.
But no joke. Was Michael J. Fox not just acting like a year ago in like some sitcom on NBC, or did I dream that up? But I guess he has. I guess,
He was, yeah.
yeah, so like in the DR, like they can take care of him, can't they? I mean,
Sure.
they've got good doctors.
Or Gretzky. Who else? Who else is out there?
Yeah, I have maybe some hockey player. I'm sorry if I offended anyone. I don't know how. And Michael J. Fox is a very nice man, and I just love him. And I hope he's okay. I just don't know how to the extent of how sick he actually is. So I apologize. And from the bottom of my heart, he seems like a very great man, and I just love him.
He's
And
a
I just
legend.
he really is, and I just really want to see him get the recognition he deserves by going on Big Brother. Okay, so we're saying no to that one. We're gonna move on. Yeah, maybe Wayne Gretzky would be better, but everybody in Canada knows who Wayne Gretzky is. Okay.
It'd be hard to see him not getting targeted right away.
Exactly. He's a pretty likable guy though, so I don't know. Okay, let's see. Next one. This one is from Trevor Chong. This one is similar to what Taron was just saying in that it's a very gimmicky twist, but this is something I could 100% see Big Brother Canada doing. He says, my idea would be to have the HOH voted on each week by the fans, similar to the week the Bros and Nikki were voted for. It could be just the top vote getter is automatically HOH, or the top two compete. But if there is a competition, it shouldn't be complete luck like it was in Big Brother Canada 4. The same rules as HOH would apply, as in you cannot win back-to-back. And I feel this would add a new threat to the game, as there is already strategic, social, and physical threats, but now there would be popularity threats. If someone keeps winning HOH, you would want to target them because they are too popular. Obviously, it will be a little bit tainted because the editors will be able to sway people, but I feel like that could lead to a better TV show. What do you guys think? Alex?
Where's the buzzer?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not quick enough, so I backed off of the sound effects, but no.
All right, so no?
It's just like the same two people are gonna win until they get evicted because they keep winning. Like it's a game that's not really a game anymore. Because it's the good thing about the competitions, the good thing about the HOH is the variance that it adds. It's not the same people winning over and over. If that happened, then you're basically screwing over the person that you're voting for, because if they win every other week, then they're going to be gone in as soon as possible. Unless it's two people who are in an alliance and they keep winning HOH back to back, and then they just steamroll the whole season. So it's like it's one way or the other. It's just it doesn't really make for compelling television, at least in my opinion. It's a completely different game, and not one that I'm really interested in watching.
Okay. All right. So you got. I was gonna say why not, just because this seems like a Big Brother Canada thing to do. I mean, personally, I don't know if I would go for it, but I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of like I guess it would kind of just be like the MVP again, except with way more power, and the MVP. The difference is there would be no Alyssa Riley in the house. But yeah. Okay. So we're gonna say no on this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so unfortunately going to the baby shower. And I just want to say, for the record, I wasn't making fun of Michael J. Fox, okay? I love Michael J. Fox, and I seriously love him, and I'm really sorry if I offended anyone, and I need to address that again. So I'm sorry. And this is what happens when you let me have a live show, because I just say stupid things. But I legitimately am a huge fan of his, and I hope that nobody is offended by what I said. And if you are, I understand, because I'm an idiot. Okay, let's move on. Next one. This one is from... Okay. All right, here we go. This one's from CG. He didn't give me a name. His name is just CG. He says, scrap second place prize money. Instead, have former Big Brother Canada season house guests, not the jury, vote for the most strategic player of the season, no matter what position they finished in, and give that person $20,000. This will reward players like Emmett, Netta, Bruno, and Cass, and taking prize money away from undeserving players who got dragged to the final two. So what do you guys think about this idea? So kind of like I don't know how you would determine the panel of alumni, but I mean, this would be kind of cool because there is no fan favorite in Canada, Alex.
Yeah. I don't know.
This is the kind of idea I like in theory. I like rewarding strategic players, but like, first of all, how are you going to find a panel of Big Brother Canada house guests that like follow the feeds and actually know what's happening? And then second, if they do follow the feeds and know what's happening and they reward the most strategic player, that's probably not the same person the audience wants to see be rewarded. So they're not going to be very happy with it. So I'm not sure why the producers would be interested in doing this.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so we're going to say no on this one then.
Yeah.
No? Okay. So no to this one. Unfortunately, CG, his idea is rejected. Okay, here we go. This one is from Lauren Harrison. Lauren says, have a Hunger Games style premiere night. 30 house guests will enter the house, but half of them will be eliminated by the end of the night. Each house guest will have a name tag on their back. When Arissa says go, they will enter the house and play a game of hide and seek. All they have to do is rip off other people's name tags until there are 15 people left. Whoever gets the most number of name tags will be the first HOH of the season, and then it's game on as usual. This will make the first episode of the season much more exciting and enjoyable. Okay. I think this is one where we might need to tweak it a little bit, but I kind of like the idea of just throwing a bunch of people in there and kind of having some sort of competition to determine who actually stays in the house. The problem is that I don't think in a million years the producers would go for this, because there are lots of their favorites and people that they want to see on the show would get axed, and I think too the mix of people would not be right, because I think every season's kind of like a puzzle piece, and if you're just taking away 15 people right off the bat, you could have like 15 people that are the exact same and 15 people. I mean, especially if it's a competition, I feel like all the strategic people that are like not the greatest of competitions are just going to get wiped out right off the bat because of this twist.
And they would all be the best people at hide and seek.
That's true. Would they be the best at hide and seek? I mean, I don't know, but they could be. But are they the best at ripping off the name tags?
How can 30 people play hide and seek in the Big Brother Canada house?
Yeah.
That is the biggest problem with this.
You can see half of them from the top of the stairs, I'm sure.
It would have to be an endurance comp of sorts, right? Like that's how it would have to be that. And then if it's that, then then I don't know. Maybe didn't they talk about this on the Big Brother US think tank? Like they had like archetype, like each archetype had 5 people. They played in a competition, and then the winner of that would go in the house. So, for example, like Matt Hoffman, Eric Stein, I don't know if we want to, Ian Terry, Steve Moses, like all people of the same body type would go through one competition, and the winner goes in the house. Like that might be able to work. Like if we had like Emmett versus Zach Olinik versus Jared, and the winner of the comp gets to go in the house, and then that's your jock of the season. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
You get what I'm saying, but you're not. You guys are still.
No, BB11ish to me, a little BB11ish.
Yeah,
I do.
would say so, sure.
I'm definitely liking what you're saying a lot more. Especially if the competitions are geared toward whatever role they're supposed to be playing, and then maybe they don't even have to say what their role was when they get into the house. So I do like that. The thing that I don't like about it and the original idea is the whole thing about bringing people into the house, getting their hopes up, and then seeing like tons of people on the first couple episodes just like get their dreams crushed. Like that's not really compelling to me. I don't like it when they do it. They did it in The Amazing Race at least once, and that was disappointing. Obviously, it happens to Jody, and poor Jody, greatest of all time, never got a chance to shine. So, I mean, I think that how what you described, Jordan, works a little better, because it's kind of like, you didn't make it onto the season, you made it onto one of 5 spots, and now instead of us choosing you to be on the season, you get to earn your own spot. And so it's a little bit more fair in that light. So I could see that happening. I'm not sure realistically if they're ever going to do it for the reasons Alex said.
Okay.
Or did Jordan say them? I forgot.
Jordan probably said them.
Yeah.
I just make jokes about hide and seek.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't think this will happen. But we can dream. It would be kind of interesting. I had. Actually, never mind. I'm not going to go in that direction. But let's just move on. So this one's also going to the baby shower. We're flying through this thing. We're going to take one more, and then we're going to talk about our ideas that we submitted. And Alex's idea I love, just because I won't spoil it, but it's fun. I'll tease it for you. It has to do with Mario Party, which it's a very, very fun game. Okay, but before we get into that, we'll take this last one. This one is from Matt Muccia, I think is how you say his last name. Sorry, Matt, if I butcher that. He gave me a really nice email. It was pretty long, though, so just the gist of it is there's a Final 3 instead of a Final 2. At Final 4, the HOH wins immunity, and everyone else has to vote out other players other than the HOH, who is immune. So similar to a Survivor Final 4. Are we yay or nay on this idea, guys? Because we look at it, Big Brother Canada 1, people said arguably Emmett was the best player. He finished in 3rd. Big Brother Canada 2, people say arguably Ned is the best player, finishes in 3rd. Big Brother Canada 3, I mean, Ashley was a really good player, finishes in 3rd. Big Brother Canada 4, Tim, Cass. So what do you guys think about this one?
I'm not really a fan of even the Survivor Final 3, and even like the things you just listed. If Big Brother Canada 1 is a Final 3, we miss Topaz. If Big Brother Canada 2 is a Final 3, we miss John cutting Netta. If Big Brother Canada 3 is a Final 3, nothing really changes necessarily. And if Big Brother 4 is Final 3, then we miss Tim's meltdown. So it's like, I mean, maybe with Big Brother Canada 4, it's more appealing, but I feel like the Final 3 to Final 2 transition is one of the best parts of the game. It's one of the most epic parts of the game. There's a lot of variance that goes into it, and people aren't always happy with the result. But when they get it right, it's amazing, and even when they get it wrong, it's still kind of epic. So I think Final 2 is just the way that it's supposed to be. You voted out everybody until there's a stalemate, and now everybody else has to decide. And that's just always how I've seen how the game works.
All right, so the baby shower then for this one.
Yes.
Okay, so there we go. Fun fact, in Jury House, we all thought it was for Big Brother Canada 3. We all thought it was going to be a Final 3. And
we speculated about that outside too.
So there we go. But it was not. All right, so that does it for your guys' suggestions. Thank you. We had tons. We couldn't get into all of them, so I appreciate it if you sent one in. It really means a lot. Now we're going to quickly talk about some of our ideas to fix Big Brother. And I'm just looking at Terrence, and I remember from the free show. That was fun. Okay. All right, Alex, let's start with you. We teased it, the Mario Party idea. What's your Mario Party idea, sir?
Well, yeah, so, again, I've talked about it a little bit, but I like the idea of trying to get, some variants in there with the different, with the veto. Just, trying to mix up the veto, see if you can't find ways to introduce alternative vetoes, whether it's, something that players compete for, whether it's something that gets hidden in the house and, someone who's astute can find it. I really like the idea of kind of like items being introduced to the game that are, kind of, just out there. Like kind of like, the Tony's bag of tricks concept really is something that's always very, very, really appealed to me. So, like, in keeping with that kind of, premise, this was just kind of, I was trying to think of like, well, what are alternatives to the veto that are still, a veto, and the one I came up with was the gambler's veto, and that would be a situation where basically the winner, or if it's a comp, it would be like a one-time item for sure, but the winner of a comp, or the person who finds it, is able to use it to remove both nominees. They're safe and the HOH is safe, but then a wheel is spun to determine who the two new nominees will be, and it could even be the people who were just removed from the block. So I think that's something that, like, it introduces an element of chance, but at the same time, if you're well set up socially, it shouldn't doom your game, because you can still, that's still like the Monday situation. You still have until Thursday to game the votes.
Yeah, this is a very BBCan-esque twist, so that's why I like it, and it's something that I could see the show using. I don't know, again, looking at it as Big Brother Canada, I mean, if I'm looking at Big Brother US, I'd probably say no for this, but the gimmicky aspect about it, and just because you compared it to Mario Party, to me, is why I liked it. So, Taryn, what do you think about it?
I think, as you mentioned, Jordan, it is very Big Brother Canada, and with that in mind, I feel like they're going to do it in a way that I don't like it, which is basically like they're not going to tell them beforehand that this is a possibility. And that kind of bums me out, because I feel like, as you can be set up as socially, you can be like the most popular person in there, whatever it is, you can be set up so well, but then random chance puts you against, Victoria, and you're done. Like, there's nothing you can do, pretty much. So I'm not a huge fan of that in that sense, but warn them beforehand. Tell them at some point in the game this veto is going to happen. You don't have to tell them when. Just tell them it's going to happen. That way they can prepare for it in some ways. You can see good players know, I need to be sure that I can survive on the block against any person that I'm put up against in any week that I go up to. I can't speak right now.
It's okay. It's been a long podcast.
A very long podcast and a very long few days. But yeah, just warn them ahead of time, and then we get to see players try to play the game even harder. Instead of being afraid that something random is going to come and blow their game away, we get to see them be like, I need to make sure that I'm good with Victoria, and make sure that Victoria is a target over me just in case. And like, what is that? How does that play out? I would love to see it.
Okay, I'm gonna. Well, Alex is obviously sending this to Zenzu. Taryn, are you sending this to Zenzu?
Yeah, I as long as they don't spring it on him.
As long as they tell them beforehand. Okay, I'm sending it to Zenzu as well. I think it'll be fun and it's interesting. And it's there's no outside elements. It's within the game. Still randomness, so it's like the triple. It's not the best thing, but at least there's time to recover from it. Okay, the next one. This one's from our buddy Brent Walgamot. Brent could not be here again because Brent had work tonight, so that sucks. But he's still got an idea. He's got a couple ideas, but we'll just read this first one that he gave me. Okay, so this one says, actually no, well, oh, I have them. Okay, well, there's two that Brent gave me.
Are we not doing Alex's other one? Because I like that one better.
Do you want to do Alex's other one? Because I
think it's up to Alex.
It's been a long podcast, so I mean, Alex, it's up to you. Do you want to do your other one?
I like it. I think we should talk about it briefly.
Okay, then let's talk about it. What's your other? That's your other.
So the other idea is something that I thought of while I was re-listening to last year's think tank when they talked about the idea of like a Power of Veto sign-up sheet or something that would encourage people who want to throw the veto to not have to get their name drawn, and people who want to play in the veto to be able to play in the veto. So I was thinking about that, and then I was thinking about the Amazing Race and how teams will have. With the roadblocks, it's like you have to split them, and sometimes you'll see like a husband and wife team where like the husband insists on doing everything, and then they get to a point where they're still alive, but he's done 8 roadblocks, and now the wife has to do all the rest of them because he's burned all his. So along those lines, I was thinking of the idea of like POV chips, where basically you have like somewhere between like 6 and 8. I don't know how you would determine it, but everyone starts the game with chips that say POV on them, and if you want to play in that given week's POV, then you have to cash in a chip. The chips should be transferable, but I think it would really create an interesting element because some players who might play too much early and would make the late game would find themselves in a position where they're out of chips and so would need to barter or like make a deal to try to get someone else's chip to be able to play in a competition that they need to be in. Or I think there's a lot of ways it could play out, but ultimately I think what's interesting about it is the idea that people could determine it's not so much random chance. You wouldn't get these situations where a bunch of nobodies with no vested interest are playing in POV. If people are in POV, that means they want to be in there and they want to win. And in the rare situation, I think when too many people want to play, you'd have some kind of random draw to determine a 6. But I think there's a lot of possibility for that.
Yeah, that would be fun. And then also too, yeah, if there's more than 6 people going in, if there's a random draw for the 6 spots, if those people lose you lose if you apply to go in, you lose your chip, even if you even if you don't get to actually play in the comp. Also, on the other hand, we might see weeks where only 3 people go play. Like that would be an interesting thing as well. Taryn, what do you think?
Yeah, I really like it, and even if they have to make veto comps playable for a variety of numbers of players, it still behooves you to not play in something that a lot of people are playing in because your odds are much diminished. And there's a lot of interesting scenarios that can come out of this. There's a lot of gameplay elements that come out of this, a lot of drama stuff that comes out of this. Like your best friend is on the block, but you don't have a lot of chips left, and are you going to play to fight for their life when they're going to go home, or are you going to keep those chips for yourself? If you want to backdoor somebody, you got to convince them not to play in the veto. It's not about like throw the veto because nobody throws the veto. It's about just don't even play. Some people throw the veto, but we're not talking about those dummies. Right. But like it's a legitimate thing where like you want to make sure that they're not going to play that veto because there's incentive for them not to, and so there's a lot of interesting scenarios that can happen. There's a lot of strategy that gets added to the game as well as drama. So I really like this idea.
Okay, going to the Zenzu.
Yes.
Going to Zenzu. Okay, so there we go. Good job, Alex. 2 for 2.
Ding.
Okay. Okay, quickly on the fly, Taryn, since you only had one idea and it was like pretty half-baked, do we want to scrap it so we can get both of Brent's in?
I did come up with a different one, actually.
Okay, fine. Okay, we'll talk about yours then. Okay, and then we'll just go with both of Brent's. I'll just go with one idea for me. Okay, so first idea from Brent. So Brent wrote very eloquently. Brent wrote this long essay for me via text. So here we go. So this is from Brent. He says, any discussion of how to improve Big Brother in the modern era with Battle of the Block or the have-not competitions of Big Brother Canada needs to start from the standpoint that ideally the show is always going to want to have one competition per episode. Since no one likes the have-not competitions, then I propose the following. Head of household competition proceeds as normal. Once the head of household has been determined, the housemates will play for safety. Now the show has introduced this twist before on a short-term basis, so it's not too radical. It also helps protect the stronger players by giving them another avenue to compete to save themselves, which should make the producers happy. I think this twist has been suggested before, but my suggestion is once someone wins safety, they also get to / must choose to save someone else. This would have the same net effect of Battle of the Block because 2 people would be safe for the week. However, it is more strategically interesting because it exposes relationships and alliances that may not be visible, especially later in the game. This twist could be in play until and including Final 5 or somewhere around that time. Alex, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, I think, an alternative to Battle of the Block is good, certainly for the US game. I mean, as far as the Canadian game, there's a lot of, twists that have come up in the early stages that I think, like if you wanted to go this route, this would be something that is, it would have to be consistent. It would have to be a theme of the season for the early going. And, I think it's probably more conducive to Big Brother US, where we're so sick of Battle of the Block and we're looking for an alternative that'll allow them to keep doing their, 2-night premiere that they're so in love with. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think Big Brother Canada doesn't need it. I think Big Brother US might.
Okay, Taryn, what do you think?
So with this thing, are they also playing the veto competition?
I would imagine if you're safe, you don't. Similar to...
But are they going to play HOH, then safety, then veto?
That's how it would work, yes. So there's still... The veto competition would still be a thing.
Okay, so I don't really mind it on a game level. On an entertainment level, I feel like those 2 competitions are too similar. Playing for safety and playing for veto are very similar things. So I'm not sure that it works because I just feel like it's the same thing back to back. And I know that it's different, but it's kind of like this person is in danger of being put on the block or whatever. They need to win safety in order to be safe. And then if they don't win safety, the next episode story is this person was put on the block. They need to win veto to be safe. And it's the same story again. So I'm not quite sure that it works. And then on a game level, I think that there might be a little too many people safe. Might limit the HOH's options.
Wait, hold on a sec. Let me get this straight. Taryn Armstrong is against one of Brent Walgamot's suggestions. That can't be legit, right? You can't
And for entertainment purposes, no less.
I'm sure Brent is absolutely going to be stunned when he comes back and listens to this. He really is going to be so shocked, Taryn.
He put this here for me to disagree with. He wanted to throw me an easy one.
Okay. Any final thoughts on that, Terrence? Sorry, I cut you off.
No, just in general. I mean, I think it's a decent idea from a game standpoint, but I'm not sure it works from a television standpoint. So, negative.
No. Okay. Alex, yay or nay?
Yes, as an alternative to Battle of the Block. No, as just a general twist idea for a generic season.
Yeah, it is better than Battle of the Block for sure.
Yeah, way better than Battle of the Block. I think maybe for Canada, once in a while, I think this would be a cool thing to have. But I don't know if an every week staple instead of the have-not comp. I don't know if we really want that, especially because in Canada, pretty much every week is a 2-part HOH episode anyway. It carries over to the Sunday episode. So, I mean, I would just say scrap have-not competitions in general. But it would be fun, I think, to have this once in a while. So I'll just say throw it to Zenzu. Why not? Give Brent some love. Okay, second suggestion from Brent. He says, everyone enjoys a twist being introduced into the game unless your name is Taryn Armstrong. What about teasing a special power to the house guests at the beginning of the season and you introduce clues along the way? Of course, Arissa would tell all of us that there's a hidden veto in the house that you could use at any time to save yourself, and it works just like a second veto. But it would provide clearly I'm tired. It would provide paranoia in the house, and good players will be able to use the clues to trick other players into believing the power is more than what it really is, similar to Tony in Survivor Cagayan. The twist is interesting, but not too powerful, but the paranoia and strategy it would introduce for the better players is always something that should be encouraged. Okay, do we like this twist, Alex?
Yes. I think it's good to. Your paranoia is always good. There's always going to be paranoia. Certainly, something like this is, it's not like a true, it's not really something that's altered the game. It's just, kind of the illusion of something that's altered the game. So I think in that sense, it's great. I mean, I think I'm always down for the idea that, I think one other person, and I can't remember who suggested it, but somebody had pitched the idea that Arista keeps saying, throughout the course of a season, like, remember, just because you're gone doesn't mean you're gone for good, or, just dropping cryptic messages throughout the course of the season without any kind of payoff. I think that is just good for the game, for the the drama, and for the keeping people on their toes.
Taryn, what do you think?
Well, first of all, I had no idea that there were so many people named Taryn Armstrong. Whoa, Brent, you're opening a whole new world to me. I like the twist. I like the idea of teasing a special power. Like Alex said, I actually saw this a lot in these threads about introducing twists. A lot of people are excited about the idea of teasing something that doesn't really exist, and I can get on board with that too. I don't even think that there needs to be an actual power. I like what he said about clues. The idea that there's clues, and eventually, if you get enough clues, it kind of points to the idea that there is nothing. There's no power. And once you find that out, then you're able to say, I have it. I have the power. Because you know that nobody else is going to get it at some point.
That's true. So it would almost be like similar to like Adele in Big Brother Canada 2 when he had that veto card thing. Do you remember what he did? Like he told everyone, like he lied about what it was, and because he was the only person who had it, he was able to just say whatever it was, but all it was that he could just play in the POV comp anytime he wanted. Like, that could be the prize.
Exactly, and I like that it rewards the player that's going to solve this clue, this puzzle, whatever it is, and then have the original idea to be like, okay, so now that I know it's nothing, I can show people what the clues that I followed and be like, hey, look, I followed these clues and I found the twist, and then say whatever they want about it. And so I'd like that it rewards initiative, it rewards lying, strategy, all that stuff, and it doesn't actually alter the game. So I'm pro. Send it to Zenzu.
I think we're sending this one to Zenzu. So well done, Brent. There we go. 2 for 2. Wow, Brent and Alex, 2 for 2 on both of yours. Can we go perfect all the way through our suggestions? I don't know. We'll
Probably
see.
not.
Okay. So here's Taryn. Do you want to go, or would you rather I go first?
It's up to you. If you think your idea is a strong one to close on, then we can go with that.
Okay. Well, I'm curious as to what yours is, but I'm in love with my own idea because. Like,
oh, are you?
Of course, and we all are in love with our own ideas.
All right, I'll go first.
So
I'll let you close out the show.
I would like to go last if you don't mind.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Let's hear your idea.
All right, so my half-baked, because I didn't really have time to prepare for this. I've been in Philadelphia, as we mentioned. So my first idea was just like, there's smart people in the game, you know? I want to see a cast of smart people. There's a way that you can do it, like a casting twist, like a Brains, Brawn, Beauty, whatever. You can make the gimmick work. I think that would be great. But, and obviously no twist would be amazing, but that's boring. My idea is kind of like what Stephen Fishback talked about in Second Chances. I like this idea of a sequestered jury. But it's a kind of a twist on that. So I want to see the jury sequestered, and then when the final 2 comes, have the old style questioning, but with one person at a time. So that person questions the final 2 in isolation, gets answers from them. That's where they learn about the game. The final 2 is able to dictate to them, based on how well they're able to lie or tell the truth or convince them, this is what happened in the game, this is why you should vote for me. After everybody does that, then they do the jury deliberations. So now the first information is coming from the players, and they're debating with the other people to see if that matches up, if that, it basically means that it puts more power in the players' hands, and then, because they're the first source of information. And then when they argue in the jury round table, that's when they get the outside information. And so if they heard one thing from the players and they hear another thing from the other jurors, it's like, who do I believe? And it's based on, what those players were able to convince them of.
Okay, interesting. I think that's a really great idea. I think it would add some more, a different element to the show. In terms of, it would also change the finale, which I think would be great because I don't like the current finale format, which we've talked about. Alex, what do you think about this idea? Is it realistic that we could see something like this?
Yeah, no, I think it's really cool. I definitely think it's something that is easily, incorporated to the game, and yeah, I mean, I don't know why. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head that would like be a reason not to, try it out. I don't know.
well, would you? My question for you, Taryn, is: so would the jury would be sequestered from each other the entire time?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, as a former house guest, that's BS because that would suck so much to be stuck by myself for 5 weeks.
Well, they don't need to have an 11-person jury, or whatever it was. They can start the jury at a reasonable time.
10.
They did talk about in the think tank last year the idea of like giving the jury feeds without sound, and I think this is kind of along those lines. Like we've seen in recent seasons that, we want a way to ensure that our jury is more informed when making these decisions in these games. And if the fans, feel that way, then I think this is a really good way of trying to, get good information. I don't think you necessarily even need to, sequestering everybody certainly makes sense. Like, a true jury is sequestered, and there's a big reason for it. Like, groupthink is very real in the jury house. I know you know that, Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
But I can see what you're saying in that it'd be a very tall order to have separate hotel rooms, to have handlers keeping these people apart for that amount of time. It's going to be very difficult. But I would love to see something, even if it's just like on finale night or, maybe a little before the deliberation, if people are allowed to like come into the house and, interrogate the two face-to-face and then go to deliberation or something. Just draw it out more, make it more elaborate, give people more time to try to like actually discern what's going on before they make a decision.
Yeah, and I like that it makes it, at least to me, I think it would make the vote a lot more live. Like, we would actually see people have their own opinions before they're brought into the jury deliberation, and then the jury deliberation isn't like a long thing. It's just they have one session with other jury members the same way that they had one session with the final two people. So they don't have time to come to a consensus and have the decision already made long before they make the vote. It's going to be like person by person. Who's this person going to vote for? And I think it's a lot more exciting that way.
Okay, well, I'll start things off. As a fan, I say this is a great twist and really great. As a member of the Big Brother Players Association, I think this is terrible because, being sequestered away from everyone for a long time by yourself, it's just not fun. And I don't know, budget-wise, I don't know if they really would be willing to pull something like that off because they didn't even do that for the first 5 people evicted from BBCan 3. So I'll just, I guess I'll lean no just because of that. But as a fan, I see where you're coming from. Alex, what do you say?
Yep, I'm on board, provided that it, well, I'm on board, but they're not going to do it. It's really what it comes down to. Like, I would love to see
they're not going to do half this stuff. They're not going to do any of this stuff. Let's be real.
Yeah, it's just not something you're going to see. But no, I would be down to see it. I really do think the finale needs some alterations in a way that allows for, it not to feel so rushed and so forced. So this is a good alternative. All
right, there you go. You're going to Samoa, or not Samoa. This is Survivor Think Tank. You're going to Zenzu. Yeah, geez, got Survivor on the brain. Okay, you're going to Zenzu. Okay. Final time for tonight. This is the final one. This is from me, and I don't know if you guys are going to like this or not, but I came up with this. I thought about this like a year ago. I came up with this idea. Maybe not a year ago. This was like last winter I came up with this, just like thinking one day. So, Big Brother Canada All-Stars, breaking news, guys. It's going to happen at some point. I think, we heard it from Arissa on that podcast, what she did with Rob. There's just rumors swirling around. All-Stars is going to happen at some point. It's going to be really great. The problem with All-Stars is that there's going to be only 16 people on the season. So because of that, we're going to lose people like Paul Jackson, the Ginger Ninja, I don't know, maybe Risha, some of these people that, we normally wouldn't see on the season. We're not going to see them again in another capacity, and that's disappointing for a lot of the fans. So my suggestion is before Big Brother Canada All-Stars, for 3 weeks, there's an accelerated version of the game. It's called, just like during the NCAA tournament for college basketball, if you're a sports fan, there's the NIT, which is the Division II tournament. So I say let's do Division II All-Stars. It's an accelerated 3-week game before Big Brother Canada All-Stars. It airs on Slice, or maybe it just streams online. I don't know how you want to do it, but I guarantee if you flew all these people to the house sits there all year round. No one is in there. If you took all these house guests and you said, hey, do you want to come play for 3 weeks of Big Brother? 100% they would go. You put them in the house. There's no prize at the end, except the prize is that if you win the Big Brother Division 2, you get an invite to the real Big Brother Canada All-Stars. So what do you guys think about that?
I like it. It'd be fun.
All right,
yeah.
Is that it? No reaction. seems like it's not really going over so well.
I was waiting for Alex to talk. I feel like I've stepped over him a little bit.
No, I don't know. I mean, I feel like we're all tired of this show, but no,
hold on, quick timeout. I'm being corrected in the chat. The NIT is not Division II. It's just for everyone who doesn't make the NCAA tournament. So yeah, it goes to show how much I know about college basketball. But basically, it's like the
play-in games.
It's just like whatever. Just ignore that. Anyway, continue, Alex.
Yeah, no, I think it's a really fun idea. I think it really would, if you're going into an all-star season and you're really trying to hype it up, I think, having this as a 3-week mini-series or web series or whatever it is would really kind of whet the appetite for an all-star season. And yeah, I think it's a really cool concept. It's kind of like the I don't know. I'm trying to think. There's definitely there's something like this that's been done before, but it's very I don't know. It's got a redemption arc to it. You know what I mean? And then there's the element of how will they fare then once they get in there? Will they be playing with house money and they'll just feel like they can do whatever and feel confident about just kind of playing their game, or will they be oh, now that I've made it, I've really got to tighten up and play? You know what I mean? How will that element of having won their way into an all-star house affect how they play in an all-star house? I think it's very interesting.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of in the UK they do the Big Brother Celebrity version,
yes,
right?
And that is 3 weeks.
Yeah, and it's a sped up version, and I feel like that. I mean, I don't watch the show, but I feel like that probably works because they're celebrities. This could work because they are past players. The question is, are people going to be interested enough in these players that production is willing to give up a spot that they would otherwise give to somebody else? I think that it could be entertaining. I think it's probably for a web series. They probably wouldn't want to air it. But I like the idea. I think it would be really fun. I'm just are the producers going to even consider the idea?
I mean, why not? The roster is stacked. You could easily come up with enough people. I feel like think about Tom Plant. Okay, Tom is from season 1, someone who's great. Tom might not get on All Stars, but he should be on All Stars. So why not give him a shot? Let's throw him on the kinda All Star season. Okay. Suzette. Is great TV. I'm sorry regardless of what you think of Suzette. Suzette's great TV. Throw Suzette in there. Paul Jackson, great TV. Let's throw Paul in there. Even some people who might be on someone for example, someone like Arlie Shaban. Like, Arlie might not get on All-Stars, but Arlie is somebody who I think deserves a chance to win his way to get on All-Stars because he played a decent game. He's a solid player, really thinks well about the game, but as of how things are currently going, there's going to be too many people in the, alumni in order for a lot of these, diamonds in the rough, if you will, to, get a shot on the show. So it would be, I don't know, I think it would be an interesting mix. I think it would be fun. Someone in the chat was saying, "Oh, this is Jordan just trying to get on All-Stars himself." No, I don't think I would want to play on this season because I would want to watch it. How fun would that be to watch? And also, too, think about this. You sequester all the All-Stars cast while this show is happening, so I don't know how long you would want to sequester them for, so that might get a little bit tricky. Maybe you want to shorten the length of this season, but as soon as it's over, you throw the All-Stars in there, and then you show, you bring out all the people who were on the kind of All-Star season, and then they do like a reveal at the end as to who's coming into the house with them. I think that would be kind of a fun little moment as well. So I don't know. I'm sticking behind my All-Stars Division 2 season. I don't know if we want to call it that. Working on the title, but we're going to Zenzu, right?
I think that this in particular, I think that if they were going for like, let's reach out to the internet audience, like let's try and get some buzz stirring for the season. Let's get some online video. Let's draw people to the website. I think this is an idea that could work. Make it low budget. Throw some people in. I really do think that the more that I think about it, the more that I think it's very possible. It reminds me, I didn't watch the show, but I think Top Chef had like has a like web series that is like Redemption Kitchen something, or like where they have the people voted off compete, and then the person that eventually wins gets back on the show at some point. And it could be something like that. And I think that there's precedent for it, and I think that it could be fun and entertaining, and I don't think it would cost a lot. And I think the biggest cost is eating up one of those spots. But beyond that, I think I like the idea. Let's send it to Zenzu.
Alex, final thoughts.
Yep, I'm in. I don't think the producers are in, but I'm in.
Producers, you should be in, because this is fun, and it'll be cool. And as Old Man Jerry would say, if you don't like this twist, screw you people, because I think it's cool. And I don't know, we haven't seen returning players on Big Brother like at all in the past decade. I mean, sorry, we haven't seen an All-Star season at all in the past decade, really, for Big Brother, at least compared to Survivor. This is an opportunity to bring people back, and as a member of the Big Brother Canada alumni, I can tell you that pretty much every single person would drop everything and go play on this accelerated season if they got the chance to. So I don't know. I hope somebody thinks about it someday, and I hope somebody thinks about some of these twists someday, because there were some really good ideas. And that's going to wrap it up for today's show. So we thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Everybody in the chat on RHAPpyswebsite.com, there's a lot of people here watching, more than I expected on a Saturday night. So I thank you guys very much. Alex and Taryn, big thanks to you guys for sticking with me tonight. Any final thoughts for the evening before we close things out? Alex, I'll throw it to you.
This has been a fun discussion. This is always it's always nice to like think outside the box about this kind of stuff, because it's we're like right in the heart of it here. Big Brother Canada's over, Big Brother US. I think we're 16 days away from finding out the cast for BB18. So it's an exciting time, and this is like when we really do start to think about like, sky's the limit in terms of speculation. So yeah, it's a fun time to be a Big Brother fan.
Taryn, thoughts from you? Are you going to pass out as soon as this podcast is over?
I've already passed out in my head. I would like the Big Brother Canada producers to send us some money, because we basically just focus grouped a bunch of ideas for them, doing work for them. It was certainly fun, but I don't do this without getting paid, Jordan. So how are we doing this?
Checks in the mail.
Yeah, it's in the mail. But if it bounces, just call Rob, and then he'll figure it out. But
get up with Orissa.
Can do that. Okay, well, that's gonna do it, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on the Big Brother Canada Think Tank. I had a lot of fun. We need a hashtag.
Topaz baby shower.
Just Topaz baby shower.
It was ridiculous, and it was throughout. I think it's a no-brainer.
Okay.
It made no sense from square one, and we're still using it.
Yeah, and we're still using it. So there we go. So. Oh man!
Hashtag shower them babies.
Hashtag shower them babies. Oh man. Okay, well let's go with that. Don't forget to follow us all on Twitter. I'm at Jordan Parhar. Brent is at OneLuckyGay. He's not here, but we're still plugging Brent. Taryn is at Armstrong Taryn, and Alex is at Alex Kidwell. Tweet us. Let us know which of these twist ideas was your favorite, or which one you thought was stupid, or anything. General comment. Please let us know. Tweet us. Use the hashtag Topaz's. Or maybe Topaz's was too hard because there's no apostrophe, so let's just go hashtag Topaz baby shower. And leave some comments at robbinswebsite.com. Always love reading those. Don't forget to subscribe to Reality TV RHAP-ups on YouTube. I don't know when the next live show will be, but if you subscribe, you will find out. You will see when it's coming up next. So stay tuned there. Check us out. Don't forget as well. Subscribe on iTunes. Go to robbinswebsite.com/RHAPpups. That's robbinswebsite.com/RHAPpUPS to make sure you don't miss any episodes of the RHAPpy Hour, the Bachelor podcast, the Challenge podcast. Mike Bloom was just recently wrapped up the Shark Tank podcast. Lots of really great stuff there if you haven't been checking it out. So make sure you do so. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Reality TV RHAPpy Hour. We will see you very soon. We thank you for joining us. For Alex Kidwell and Taryn Armstrong, I'm Jordan Parhar. Hashtag Topaz baby shower. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Peace out.